Blast from the grassroots, connecting people and sharing ideas.
Good morning. Welcome back to ASEAN. This is Blast from Grassroots. This is Grace.
Hi, this is Gowri.
And today is
New Year's Eve.
Yay!
Well, it's still morning, but still exciting.
Of course. And I can't believe 2014 is ending really soon. Like this, Gowri. Can you believe it?
So we're looking forward to 2015. It's very scary. It's a very scary feeling because the whole year just gone by so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be 1 year old next year, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
For sure. And then for this session, we have a very special guest in our house today. And I'm really excited to interview her today. Her name is Poova. She's a singer-songwriter in Malaysia. Good morning.
Good morning to you girls. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So how are you today?
Very good. It's New Year's Eve.
It is New Year's Eve. So how do you feel like having the last day?
The New Year's Eve.
Yeah, how do you?
Wow. Every year there's a lot that happens in my in my career, which is great. And this year has also been fantastic. Another fantastic year. I traveled quite a bit, and of course the highlight was the AIM. That was like the best Christmas gift, I think, for this year. So
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit background of yourself, Poova?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
How did you start out? What got you into music?
Well, I think music has always been a huge part of my life. My dad sang a lot.
Mm-hmm.
My great-grandfather was a Carnatic musician. So my aunt sang, my grandmother sang. They played musical instruments as well. So music has always been
and
a huge part. Yeah.
Only natural that you started singing as well.
Exactly. So I was singing since I was a kid. I started playing the piano when I was 7. And I was always making music, But I didn't think that it was something I wanted to pursue as a career until I got married, actually.
Oh, really?
My husband was like, he said, wow, you're really talented. I think you should, do something that you love.
Wow.
And that gave me the inspiration, the confidence to actually pursue music as a career.
Then before becoming a musician, what was your dream?
My dream?
Yeah.
As much as I didn't think I was going to pursue music as a career, I've always loved making music.
Oh.
So I think subconsciously that was my dream, I think.
I see.
So you would have still been in music, just not performing.
Yes, because I was doing it part-time while I was working. So I naturally got into it, but I think I gained a lot of confidence to pursue it as a full-time career the last 4 years. I've been doing it professionally.
And apart from your husband, was there any moment in your life that made you feel like, yeah, this is what I want to do, this is what I was born to do?
I think I thought the whole 9 to 5 wasn't my thing, and I think I gradually discovered that. And as I was doing music part-time, I realized how much I actually love singing and being on stage and making music, and that also inspired me to push myself a little further and just to gain that confidence to pursue this as full-time. So I think I just I was kind of fed up with work. I wanted to be free and to be able to do something I'm absolutely passionate about. And obviously music was something I was very passionate about.
Well, to be able to come on a stage and sing, you need to have that personality, How did you actually improve and build up the personality on stage?
I was always a shy, till today I'm still a shy girl, but I think I just switch on when I'm on stage. I'm like, I become a different person, but it's still me. But I think a more vibrant me. I think. I mean, you have to. I think stage presence is very important, and I think it's important to engage your crowd where you're performing. So, nothing to put on because that's naturally who I am as well. I'm just happy, funny, and goofy.
Is there an alter ego that comes out?
Yes and no. Right. I'm still off stage. I'm still
very friendly,
yeah. So that shows on stage as well. But there are moments where I like to shut down and totally just be a bit more serious, maybe. I mean, there are many facets of me, actually. Yeah.
Well, apart from singing, if I'm not mistaken, I've read a few of your profiles and here and there, and then I realized that you also love to compose your own tunes.
Yeah.
So how did you come about that? How did you start since you were young?
As I said, I started playing the piano when I was 7, and I never liked piano lessons, so every time.
Was it like classical?
Yes, I studied classical music. So every time Miss Jane, my piano teacher, would come to the house, and the first thing I'd do is like, "Hey, Miss Jane, this is what I made. This is what I've put together. Do you like it?" And I would sing and play, and she'd be like, "All right, that's great, Poova, but let's move on to your pieces now, shall we?"
No.
And I could appreciate classical music, but I just wasn't interested in performing. I wasn't interested in playing classical music. I've always made my own tune. So I think it started very young. So music is like, writing a song to me just comes naturally.
I see.
So yeah.
That's really wonderful. Then what kind of inspiration do you get when it comes to your compositions?
Right. I'm inspired by everything and anything in my life. I mean, I'm inspired by love, my relationships with people, self-discovery, So I would think of a subject matter and then, and then think of a melody, or I could think of a melody and then, think about what I want to write. Sometimes the music talks to me. I know it sounds crazy, but it does. The music tells me, oh, this is what you should write about. This is what you should write, and so it's I don't have a fixed structure of how I write my songs, but once I've laid out something, a basic track on the piano, then I do a basic production in the computer. So
with your knowledge in the piano, you also can be able to come with the chords and the melody at the same time.
Yeah.
In fact, I've seen your performance a few times in No Black Tie and also Nerofico before, and then I find your performance is always powerful and so much of energy. And then be able to carry all that. How do you actually maintain your stamina?
I've always been a hyperactive kid. Oh my God, poor mom. I was always running around. I had always had that extra energy, and growing up I was into sports. I was a school runner and all that, and I throughout my life I have been doing running. And
until now?
I do trail running. I mean, my husband is a hash runner, so sometimes we go running in the jungle. And I recently got into the sport of triathlon, which is swim, bike, and run. So I've been a lot active this year. Actually, I started this year, and I've been taking part in a lot of duathlons and triathlons this year. And I'm not sure how this is all going to work and how I'm going to fit in my schedule, hoping to participate in the half Ironman next year.
Wow.
Yes, which is ridiculous distance. It's I think 1.9 kilometer swim, followed by a 90 kilometer cycle and a half marathon. But I have done long distance cycling, like 78 kilometers. I've done so we go cycling every weekend.
That's
on
very
Sundays.
healthy.
Yeah, so I think because I like sports, that helps with my performance as well on stage.
So 2 hours, 3 hours on the stage, actually no problem.
No, because the thing is also, besides being fit, I enjoy performing. I love being on stage and performing in front of a million people.
What sort of drags you to be on the stage and love the performance?
Sorry?
Is it the audience that you are looking forward to?
Definitely. When I was in Taiwan, I had the opportunity to perform at a jazz festival 2 years ago in Taiwan, Taichung. And I think there were 20,000 people.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. And I started singing a few songs, and they just warmed up to me, and they were screaming my name. And although they didn't know the song, but they were trying to sing my song as if they knew. And I felt like a superstar. I was like, I had a superstar moment.
Wow.
Felt like a rock star. And the love that you get from your audience just fuels you. It just makes me, God, it lights me up, and I get also excited, and I give back the love, as much as I receive the love.
So it's a two-way communication.
For sure. And I think it's a great communication.
Well, what about if you have a passive crowd? How do you deal with that?
I just do my best. I do get that a lot where, the crowd is absolutely lifeless. But, if I'm performing with my band, we look at each other and try to, there's a party on stage, so it doesn't really matter. And I think the audience will just kind of get that energy, and I think they just naturally light up, So it really depends on who the performer is.
So how is it like performing outside of Malaysia, and then when you come back to Malaysia, what is the major differences?
Well, first of all, I do look forward performing outside of Malaysia because it just you come back fresh, energetic, and you know you get to experience different cultures and you get to meet different people, different musicians from different countries, and you know it's exposure. So you come back and you feel energized and you feel like a brand new, you feel all brand new, and you know that helps. I think the difference. Well, I think. Like, for example, in Taiwan, I recently went to Macau this year as well for a jazz festival. And I don't know, people there tend to be a bit more engaging, and their appreciation for music is just different. They're a lot more receptive, a lot more welcoming. Sometimes Malaysian, I don't know, they're not reserved, a bit more reserved, more quiet. But I've been really blessed that I have not had so much of that. Because you know maybe the nature of my music, the genre of my music is a bit more, engaging. But I don't know. It's always refreshing to go outside of Malaysia and come back, and that is. I feel personally that there's a slight difference.
I see. Well, let's come back to Malaysian industry for a while.
Okay.
So you've been in the Malaysian industry, music industry, for about 4 years. Yeah. How's it like the journey so far? I mean, I'm sure you had hurdles here and there. Sure. And how did you overcome all those difficulties?
Yeah, I mean, I think starting out, there are definitely hurdles, you know, and. I felt initially as a original artist, there's not many places to perform your original music, as opposed to as a cover singer. If you're good, you know, you get hired for shows, for functions. You know, it's different. You know, it's sometimes you tell your clients, hey, you know, I've got some original songs I want to perform. You know, sometimes they're not very encouraging. They say, you know, we want a certain kind of theme. This is what we want. So you're just
those days, right?
Yeah, you're just you're the entertainer for the night. So you know, take it or leave it. So at that time, you know, you're like, okay, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm still going to get exposure when I perform. It doesn't matter if I'm singing covers. People are still going to notice me. But now, you know, I've been really blessed with winning the awards because someone out there has heard my work and say, hey, you know what, you deserve the award. And I think, you know, music is art. I mean, you're hoping somebody out there would appreciate the music that you've written. So I've been blessed in that sense. Of course, funding, you know, I mean, I perform in bars, and, you know, I did the events. I still do the corporate shows, and that money helped to fund, you know, the basic studio setup that I have in my home, and also the album. So funding will always be an issue, I think, because you're not signed by a major label. I think
so you are independent.
Yeah, independent artist. So that will always be something that, you know, will be an issue. You have to save up to produce an album. It's not cheap.
And tell us more about the album. I'm curious.
Yes. I'm sorry I did not bring a copy today. It's called Ticket to Fake Town.
Yes.
And have you heard?
Yes, I have heard of that. Yes.
I wrote these songs. I think it took me about a couple of years to write the songs, and they're basically stories about my life, my experiences. You know, especially as a singer-songwriter. And I mean, there's a song called Slave, and it's about, you know, quitting your job and pursuing your dream. Yes. You know, so it's an honest album. Yeah. So yeah, it's about me.
It's really great that, you know, someone can put up with all this effort and they release an album, and then you are awarded for something.
I did totally.
Then you feel achieved out of that.
For sure.
So from here, how do you plan to yourself go forward?
Okay. I think I'm absolutely grateful winning AIM because it has really inspired me to be a better artist. And for me, it's important to never stop learning and developing and working on your skill, and that has inspired me to do better. And so my plan next year is to get into the Malay music industry. I'm quite excited about that. So let's see what transpires.
Well, talking about Malaysian music industry, we've been actually talking about this other musicians a few times before. The main industry and mainstream industry and also independent music and the indie scenes are totally different scenes to our. And how do you balance yourself in between?
Or how do you know where you want to be?
Yeah.
I'm just there. I'm just everywhere. I do everything. Except for Broadway and theater. I don't do that. But yeah,
But you can venture yourself in
yeah,
that
because
area as
first
well.
of all,
you have the personality
yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm a singer.
Yeah.
So as a singer, I sing anything, because I love to sing. And I also like to make music, and that is something that I'll always do. But in Malaysia, it's still not easy to be as an artist, as an original artist. It's still, especially in the English music scene, But I don't know. I just I feel blessed, really, and I don't see a problem me being the singer and being the independent artist, and I'm even writing an electronic album, which is totally different from and it's just different kind of genres that I'm exposed to and I'm able to relate to.
How about in terms of language? Because Malaysia has a few languages here, and to be able to step into the music industry here, majority are still Malays.
Yeah.
So would you actually sing in Malay?
Yeah, for sure.
You can.
Yeah, I can sing in Malay. I can speak in Malay, but I'm still practicing to speak properly. Because I don't have the chance to speak Malay to. There's only a few friends that I have that I speak in Malay, and I make sure I speak in Malay because you want to get into that the vibe. Yeah. But I don't have a problem singing Malay. Yeah.
How about sorry, I was just thinking of so many questions in my head. So we talked about all those journeys that you've had come so far, and then you couldn't stop mentioning about your husband.
Yeah, he's a huge part of my life.
Yes,
I mean, my husband is. Yeah, my husband is a full-time manager now, and he.
But he wasn't full-time manager before. Right?
Well, he was a manager before, but he's full-time as in he's totally devoted to me.
Oh,
I am his product. We do a lot of things together. We're musically we're so connected. We listen to the same kind of music, and we're into the same sports. We're always together, and I enjoy his company, and we make music together.
Oh wow!
So we're like. We have this great partnership, which is, I think, to me, is important.
So it's like when you're there, he's there. When he's there, Poova is there.
But I mean, we have time where we're doing different things, so there's time for that. But most of the time we're together. He's like my best friend.
Oh, but then the be in the relationship together and to be able to work together. It's just that, isn't that hard? That's the general point, isn't it?
It is tough.
Yeah.
There are times where I'm like, you're in my personal space, get out. But most of the time it's because I think I'm an easygoing person, and he's also the same, and sometimes when one person is pissed off about something, the other person just goes, okay, it's okay. Two people can all be angry. One person has to be a bit more relaxed, more patient.
Yes.
So we take turns to be patient, and we take turns to be pissed off.
It's really blessing, I will say, to have somebody who's very understanding and to understand your job, your career.
Totally.
Because to become an artist and musician, it's so dynamic, the life itself.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, where Rob was, he was working as a GM for a textile company before, and of course his schedule and my schedule was so different because he wakes up in the morning, goes to work, and my work is at night. So during that period it was difficult because our time zones were different.
Of course.
I think now I feel like that the fact that he's now totally devoted to my career, it feels good. I feel like I feel more. I've just have more confidence now.
What other kind of advices does he give you if he has to give you?
Yeah, he's like, why are you wearing that short skirt? I'm just kidding. I don't know. He's not like that. He's very chilled. He absolutely understands me as a person. I mean, we've been together for a while, and he knows what I don't like. He knows what makes me happy. He knows what will make me cry. You know, he understands my music. I mean, when we make music together in the studio, we're just connected. I understand why he wanted the music to be a certain way, and he understands why I'm making the music the way I do. I mean, there is a musical connection there, you know. So we gel. Wow. Totally, yeah. So in that sense, we're together.
To me, it's all about love. And then we can, you know, hopefully we can send the love to our listeners as well.
Wow, yeah. The love and, you know, the professional relationship as well. It's not easy, but, you know, we try to keep it going.
That's really wonderful, Poova.
How
about, okay, we talked about the love. How about your love towards your fans? On New Year's Eve, and what are the messages that you want to send out?
Oh my God! Have an amazing New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is where, you know, you reflect on your year and you know, you have a list of things that you want to do in the next year, and hopefully you keep up to the promises you made to yourself. You know, the resolutions that you made. You know, we're always very excited about resolutions. So I think the most important thing for me, I mean, for inspiring artists, you know, I would say don't give up, because music is a process. You know, always focus on developing yourself, bettering yourself, and never stop learning. I don't stop learning. I always constantly want to be better, you know, and take my music to greater heights. And you know, it's a tough business. So if you think you've got what it takes, that's important. You need to know you need to know that. So if you know you've got what it takes, then I think you should not look back and just pursue your dream, because it's something that you're passionate about.
And where can people get your album?
Yeah, they all major stores. You can buy it online. It's on iTunes. You can also go on Spotify. My album's on Spotify. Yeah.
And then she has a New Year's Eve.
Of course.
Yeah, so we're performing New Year's Eve at Desa Park City. So that's nice, because usually I don't really take New Year's Eve, because I like to spend that with family and friends. And this year I thought, why the heck not? Let's just go and, you know, rock it out.
All right. So happy New Year to you, Poova.
Happy New Year to you guys as well.
All the best in your event and in the
Thank
future.
You so much.
Music career.
Thank you so much. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. Hope that was fun.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.